Greetings, my name's Chris from cf10ten, and we like to give you creative solutions and a little bit of training and advice. No, we do it individually, we do it for groups, but we also like to put out videos and advice about how to get the best out of your creative media. It could be a camera for video, it could be a camera for stills, it could be a microphone, or it could be just using the internet. But we'd like to help and advise you. The first thing I'm going to be talking about, with the help of my daughter Cara, is how to use your camera. We're talking about a little pocket camera here, a little point and shoot, which we don't probably get the best out of. No, it's best to put it onto automatic, I agree. Find that automatic button, or in just click and shoot. You know, and don't forget, what you see is what you get. So if you see in your viewfinder, if it looks good there, it will look good when it's viewed back. But you've got to understand to love the light. The most important thing about taking photographs or making video is learn to understand the light. Now, when you've got a lovely day like we have today, the light is good. You can take some nice pictures. We're going to snap away, and all the pictures I'm showing you are taken on this little point and shoot Sony camera. But what you can do, once you start to understand the light, you can understand how to get a little bit more out of it. Because one of the biggest problems I see with photography, people taking pictures and they're shooting in low light and it's a bit blurred. The reason it's blurred because to get enough light into the camera has got to have a longer exposure. Now if you're shooting in good light like this, I'll take a picture now, it's probably about 250th of a second. So any movement by my hand or the camera is going to be frozen, or anything moving in front of it is going to be frozen. When you go to low light, your shutter will be open for longer, so it could be a half a second, it could be a second. So in that time, it doesn't say much to myself, a lot can happen in a half a second. So your movement by pushing up could cause a bit of a blur, or something moving in front will cause a bit of a blur. So to get to understand this, that to get good quality pictures in low light, you've got to do a couple of things. Now first of all, what we're going to do is have a look, and there's a little flash button somewhere on your camera. There's a little flash there, and you can set it so you can turn your flash off. So there'll be a little symbol which shows with a circle through, which says that your flash is off. Now you don't want the flash on if you're trying to shoot in low light. If you're taking a picture outdoors now and the flash goes off, it's only going to fill out a little bit of a distance, maybe 10-15 feet. It's not going to light up the sky, so it's going to confuse the camera. So we turn the flash off for low light situations, for sunset, sunrises, and for atmospheric pictures, which you can play with after we've finished. The next thing to do is you've got to find somewhere steady to put your camera, to hold your camera on, and use the self timer. Now if you're very good, you could use a post and put your camera on, think solid, then press the shutter, and you're unlikely to get much of a blur because you've got something solid base, a fence or a table, something like that. If you haven't got anything like that, or even a little tripod to do, you can always use a self timer and put it on something like a coat or something not quite so secure. Even put it on on a little mini tripod. I always carry a mini tripod around, and this symbol, the little clock type symbol on there, will allow me to set the timer. On my camera I can set it to 10 seconds or to 2 seconds. I'll put it on to 2 seconds here. So once it's set on self timer, when I press the button, I can just walk away, and in 2 seconds or 10 seconds it will take the picture, and that will stop the amount of shake you get, because when you physically push the shutter down, you're going to put a bit of shake into your picture. So it's quite good. Put it onto a tripod, put it onto a fence, put it onto the self timer, press the button, and you can then walk away. Obviously you may have to experiment, and as you may know with myself, you take one more just in case. So don't be afraid to take more than just one picture. The first picture is not always the best one, the second one usually is. But once you press that and the timer goes off, I'm just taking a picture of you now, it gives you that little bit of freedom to to not worry quite so much about your hand movements. And also get used to it. Try it in different lights. Understand light. Try shooting in the morning. Try shooting at night, or even indoors. Try, if you've got a nice fire going, put the camera on a tripod or something secure and go and stand by it or sit by it. You can put yourself in the picture or put someone else in the picture, or whatever you like. But be aware of movement. Low light, you get longer exposure, things will move. So if you took a picture of a person in low light and the shutter was long, any movement they do will become a bit of a blur. But it's great fun. You can see with my daughter that enjoys taking pictures. You don't need a big camera, and I quite often use my little point and shoot in all the pictures that we're showing here are done by point and shoot. But don't forget, obviously, when you finish that, you need to switch your flash back on, put it on auto, and that will take the pictures as and when. But get to love your camera and get to love the light. So I'll speak to you soon, if not before. Bye bye.